Welcome back, everyone. Pal Ponder on Weather here. In this update, we're watching this powerful upper level low that's still draped across the west coast. That was the culprit yesterday that brought all the flooding rains in and around the Santa Barbara region and several tornado warnings around the Sacramento Valley region. But out ahead of it, we do have a warmer southwest wind that will be pumping in, elevating those temperatures and almost spring-like temperatures in parts of the country. But this colder pocket aloft will be traversing across the U.S. and resetting up another area of instability as we head into your Wednesday through Friday time frame. So if you are new to the channel and like detailed weather breakdowns, hit the subscribe button and you're in. You get all my daily updates on this channel, and so I can keep you well ahead of the storm. So here's the setup as we head into your Thursday and Friday time frame. That colder pocket aloft will be highlighted across that region, but it's also going to have a dry slot. So we do have the instability out west, but it's going to miss a good part of the central part of the country and actually pick back up again once we head into your Wednesday through Friday time frame. But for right now, the main concern is more heavy rain across the west coast, with another area of a slight, even now moderate risk upgrade for excessive heavy rainfall. This was the same area that picked up 3 to 7 inches in some of those areas around Santa Barbara. Now that shifted a little bit further south, so now mainly into the Pasadena region, into Los Angeles, back into Irvine, and swinging as far south as San Diego today. We are expecting an additional flooding concerns across this region as that low pressure center is just kind of sitting there. It's not really moving anywhere. It will finally be on the move going into your Wednesday, and you'll have some flooding concerns even on Wednesday, but that will be finally moving out heading into your Wednesday afternoon time frame. But for the next 2 days, this is basically what it looks like, folks. I mean, it's pretty dry for a good part of the U.S. with that southwest wind that's bringing in that warm wind, and not much happening for a good part of the country. All the instability is, at least for the next 2 days, is highlighted across the west coast, and that's where they are expecting some more heavier flooding rains across that region. But as we head into your Wednesday time frame, there's that southwest wind, right? So there's the spring-like temperatures. I mean, it's posting 94 degrees down there in Mexico, folks. So this is definitely a warmer surge of air back into the 80s in Texas for the first time. And even into the Oklahoma City region could reach 81 degrees. And those 70s are alive and well into Missouri as well as into Illinois. But it's also going to be the culprit because of the heat fuels the atmosphere. Once that colder pocket aloft hits these areas across Missouri, that's going to make the atmosphere a little bit more unsettled again, and that's where we have a renewed threat for more severe storms. Right now, it's just a marginal risk, but I do feel this could actually get updated to a slight risk as we head into tomorrow timeframe. For those areas into north of the Tulsa region, got to be concerned about some of those isolated severe thunderstorms in and around the Wichita region, headed into the Springfield, going into your Wednesday afternoon, Wednesday night time. So let's take a look at the overall setup. This is basically your jet stream. So you got the southern branch, of your jet stream further south, and then you got the northern side of the jet stream well further north. This is going to be some colder air that's going to be moving into the northeast as we head into this weekend. But it's right here. This is that colder pocket aloft that's traversing across the middle of the country, is going to have a renewed upward rising motion of air across this region, and that's where we're going to be setting the stage for more showers and thunderstorms going into your Wednesday, now into your Thursday time frame. Mainly the heavier excessive rain is going to be highlighted over Louisville, over Cincinnati, into Frankfurt, back into Columbus, into the Charleston region, and into West Virginia. That is the main heavier pocket of rain that's going to be impacting that area going into your Thursday. But as we move into your Friday, that continues to be moving more progressive. Earlier in the week, whenever you get this type of split flow setup, so you had the southern branch and the northern branch, it did look like for at least a time that the southern branch was going to slow down And if that actually came to fruition, that would have kept the moisture in play as the colder air will coming in from the north. And that set up a more elevated risk of more snow across this region. Now the southern branch definitely appears it's a lot more progressive, and that's been the culprit of this winter, folks. The moisture is in and out quick, and that's exactly what's going to happen heading into your Friday. So we got the southern branch of the system with the heavier rain over eastern Kentucky, parts of the Carolinas, heading into Ohio here, back into West Virginia, up here to Pennsylvania. We could have a little bit of a changeover as you're seeing some of that colder air, some freezing rain across these regions into up to and around the New York region. But further north, that's where the snow is, right? So it's just going to be a fast progressive system, and as it moves so fast, it's going to be limited moisture from the northern side. So you can definitely see the southern branch heading into your Friday is basically almost already offshore across the I-95 corridor, where any snow is going to be well north up here into Vermont and New Hampshire and back into Maine. And then you got the drier slot on the back side. So originally these were going to phase a lot earlier, and that set up and leaving a lot more significant system on the snow front. But now that the moisture is well out ahead of the colder side, that pushes any instability out off the coast. And then once the cold air comes in, it's basically dry. So we have the southern branch bringing the instability, but the northern branch brings the colder air, but it's a drier air once we head into the weekend. So you definitely cool down and get colder again. Again, even like the storm, it's going to be a quick shot. So we got basically a 2-day wonder. So we got a cold pocket of air coming in from southeastern Canada, impacting the northeast. You're definitely going to feel it as you get into your Saturday morning. But going into Sunday, I think it even gets colder as we head into your Sunday morning time, going into those areas across the East Coast and up here into the Northeast. But look what's lurking, right? You got the warmer air lurking back behind it. So that won't take long, and eventually that will push through. So it'll be a 36-hour, 48-hour push of colder air up in the Northeast, and then it'll be gone. Because by the time we head into your Monday, bam, again, southwest winds kick in again, and then the warmer temperatures kick in, while we're watching a renewed threat across the West Coast. And that's going to be moving across the central part of the country. And that could set the stage for some severe storms as we head towards the end of the month. So if you look at this type of setup, and we got to look at, you got to be concerned about, because we're going to that transitional time frame of, we're coming out of winter, we're heading into spring. So you got March 1st is basically meteorological spring. So whenever you get transition months, which March is essentially a transition month, you get these very warm sectors and you get some colder sectors. And whenever the cold and the warm collide, that's where we got to be concerned about severe storms. And I think we're going to be having to be concerned about that as we head towards the end of the month of February. So if you look at the setup, this is around the 28th time frame. Again, we've got the warmer air surging in from the southwest, while this colder pocket aloft comes back over Alaska and Western Canada, but also sneaks in across a good part of the West. Now that's actually going to be entering part of the central U.S., and that is the system that could bring some severe storms because of this jet stream. Whenever you see this jet stream start to buckle again, right at that transition zone where we got some colder sector and the warmer sector, that's where we got to be concerned about on the southeastern side of there of severe storms. So we're going to be fine tuning this as we get a little bit closer, but right now it looks like the highlighted area would be somewhere in the vicinity of coming out of Iowa into Missouri, back into Illinois, through Arkansas, up there in Indiana. I mean, the moisture is going to be alive and well for that area as we head into your 27th, 28th, 29th time frame. Because look at the dew points. I mean, check out the dew points for this time of year. the 27th of the month. I mean, we've got dew points in the lower 60s. Remember what happened the other day, last week or so, when Wisconsin had an EF2 tornado, first time in February history, because they had a higher dew point. And you look at some of these higher dew points, 55, even as far north as Michigan there, low 60s for Illinois. That's crazy to see for end of February. So we've got to be concerned, because looking like right now the dynamics are starting to come together as we've got warmer temperatures a lot earlier and we've got colder air coming in from the west, and that's going to collide, and that could set the stage for probably several days of severe storms as we head towards the end of the month. So guys, I appreciate you guys watching. Do like this video, definitely hit the subscribe button, and catch my next update while I protect you before and after the storm.